All right, welcome back, everybody. Time now for Better Pets.
Well, there's been a lot of talk lately about the food we feed our dogs.
Specifically grain-free food. Our Better Pet vet, Dr. Andrea Dennis, is here to talk about the controversy and what we should and shouldn't be giving our pets.
That's right.
Welcome.
All right.
That's
Hi,
right.
how are you?
I'm doing terrifically well.
Good. Nice
Thank
to see you.
Thank you.
You know, we've been hearing, I mean, sometimes you hear these stories of things being contaminated, but then there's also most people who are giving a grain-free diet. They think they're doing something better and healthier for their dog.
You've hit it right on the head. That's exactly what's going on. And we are going to talk about a couple of things that we do have some toxicities, but the main story that really is constantly in the news, in and out of the news, is the grain-free diets. And they were sort of promoted as being a healthier diet. And I'm not saying that you cannot be on that type of diet, but you need to do your research and you need to discuss it with your veterinarian. Because what we're finding out of this is that when people were taking away the grains, and some people are not even sure what is a grain and what's not
Exactly.
a grain. But we're saying that it's causing cardiomyopathy. So let's just go back to the beginning. So on the left, we actually have what grains are.
Okay.
And that's like your rice, your barley, your wheat. And they're not bad. But then this fad kind of came in that you needed to go with grain-free. And I think mainly that was because people were considering it corn. And when you look at the grain-free, that's like your legumes, your peas, potatoes, and sweet potatoes. Now, all unto themselves, they are not bad, but it's when they are the primary ingredients, that's when we worry about it. Okay, so that's the problem. And what we're seeing in breeds that normally did not get cardiomyopathy, we're seeing this dilated cardiomyopathy. We usually see it in Great Danes and boxers, but now we're seeing it in breeds that normally don't get this condition.
And you think it's because of the diet?
Well, there's research. The FDA is really investigating this, and that's why there's a warning. They're not pulling any specific ingredients or pulling any specific brands of food, but it indeed is something that we're seeing a strong link.
In a minute, we'll go to the science, but I just want to ask you, is it because then you've gone to grain-free, so you're missing nutrients that you're not getting because you're only doing the other?
That's what the theory is. And again, this is still theory, but they've been working on it since January of this year. It's the taurine. We do know taurine is a very important amino acid. Now, whether that is the cause, we're not exactly 100% sure. But when I see people just going to grain-free because they think it's healthier, that disturbs me as a veterinarian. And that's why I'd say if it's a primary ingredient. So one thing I'm just going to, just lift up the bag, but every single bag of food, if you go to the side, it's going to list the ingredients, okay? You want to look at the first top 5. Now, this is too tiny for you to read, but just the main thing is to encourage people to...
Chicken by product?
That's right. Oh my goodness, you're impressive.
Chicken by product.
Okay, and then we've got, but you see peas is like 7th. So you can have a little bit of peas, but don't make the primary ingredient peas, all right?
Okay.
And again, same thing with lentils and chickpeas. So you're right, that's the main thing is that we want to, and when I want to show you what it actually does to the heart with the cardiomyopathy. We've seen this before. You have this is a cross section of your heart, and you have a heart with a muscle wall. Right?
Yep.
So with that, with dilated, what happens, that wall becomes thinner and thinner and thinner, so your heart can't beat. It's a muscle. It's got a job to do.
It's like a weakening of the muscle.
Very much so, and that's what we're seeing, and dogs are dying. Now, there are a couple of cases with cats, too, that we're seeing as well, but it's primarily in canines.
And what would the symptoms be if your dog gets...
Coughing, they're very, very tired. Sometimes you'll even see them collapse when they can't exercise anymore. So bring that to your attention, especially if you know you've been feeding a grain-free diet. And you can go to the FDA.com and really look into that.
Is this all ages for the dogs?
Yes,
or you're just
we're
seeing
it in all ages.
So that's another thing, if you see a
sad.
young dog getting it, that there's a problem.
Right, and the main thing is for consumers to contact the FDA and for veterinarians to contact the FDA. The more information we get, the more we will learn on this. Personally, I've never advocated that my clients go to grain-free diets because I felt that other diets were just more than adequate.
Okay.
So, but look at it and look and see what you're feeding. That's the main thing.
Well, you bring up a good question about what are we feeding, because grain-free is popular in human diets, and we think, so if we're doing it and that's the new health craze and maybe it's good for our pets, does it matter, like, can you buy any dog food at the store, or do you really need to be getting the kind that they sell at the vet as far as promoting long-term health?
Yeah, see, like at our veterinary hospital, we just sell like the specific, if they have a kidney failure or if they have a urinary tract problem. No, I think you can go to some of your really good pet stores, but you have to do the reading on the labels.
All right.
All right, and then there's also a really good place called petdiets.com, and that's run by a veterinarian, even talking about how do you make a great homemade diet, but you want guidance. So there are lots of options.
I'm one of these dopes that goes to the market, and the higher the price is, I think the healthier it is.
No, and that's not true. And when you go to, again, when you just Google this whole grain-free issue, there is a list of 10 brands that they're seeing primarily this is occurring in. I don't feel comfortable talking about it
Sure,
on the air.
absolutely.
But people do your research. I guess that's the main way of how can we prevent problems from happening.
Okay.
Is read your labels and let's make sure that we do the right things. Now, can we switch to something else?
Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I sang.
But save it for the next time.
Yes.
Okay, but don't forget, people can go see you and talk to you on the radio, because as a reminder, Dr. Dennis is the owner of the Bloomfield Animal Hospital. She looks so dejected on Old Windsor Road in Bloomfield. You can check it out online at BloomfieldAnimalHospitalCT.com.
On alternating Saturday afternoons from 2 to 3, she's actually given time. No, she's taking listener questions during Pet Talk on WTIC 1080 radio. You can tune in for that if you can. She's back.
Yes.
We found a little extra time to give Dr. Dennis. She wanted to make a couple of points for us about
Yes,
diets and things.
These are diets that actually we know there's a toxicity related to them, and one is vitamin D toxicity that we're seeing, and this food has been withdrawn, and mainly with Hill's food and certain canned foods, and it's been very, very serious. So if you have any Hill's canned food from a veterinary diet, contact your veterinary office and make sure that this is not one that's on the list. And this is causing really severe problems with kidneys and even death. So that's one thing, and I can tell you why, but I know time is limited. The other thing that I want to warn people about is that we are seeing people get salmonella from handling pig's ears, you know, the little treats that dogs eat and they like to chew on.
People are getting that.
People are getting it. Now, dogs get it as well, but dogs seem to be fighting a little bit. So I do think Pet Supplies Plus has taken their pig ears off the market, especially the ones that are in bulk form. Not so much the ones in the bag, but when you can just go in the store and grab them in bulk.
Yes.
I would avoid the pig's ears wherever you are getting them. But
Well,
I know.
and how do the pigs hear without their ears? So let's let them have their ears.
Are we 30 seconds in?
We're about 30, yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
But those are my 2 warnings, and I just want people to know, since we were talking about food, these are the things that we know are dangerous and toxic, and let's just stay away from them if we can.
Definitely
Thank you so
talk to your
much.
vet.
We
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you so